going to make a little Max for Live device that is basically a MIDI video sampler. So this device will take MIDI as an input, a MIDI keyboard, and it will allow us to play different video clips with the keyboard. It will also allow us to apply some effects and to record the whole thing. So this Max for Live device will take MIDI as an input. So it's either a Max MIDI effect or a Max instrument. So a Max MIDI effect would take MIDI in and MIDI out. An instrument can output audio. So for today, I'm going to take that, just in case we want to add some audio to our device later. So here we are. And I'm going to remove everything except for these two guys. And first of all, we need an object that you have in your extras folder. So if you go in here and you'd look at the jitter tools, sorry. Here we go. We have an object called JIT-GL polymovie. And if you have a look at this help file, everything's in here already. We have a append folder. That's where we drop our folder with the video files. We have the object itself, obviously. We have this whole stuff here that'll create a menu with all the clips. And we have JIT world. Okay, so that's pretty much everything we need right now. And we'll add some more stuff later. So I just copy this and paste it into my device. All right. So here's a few things we want to automate. For example, this JIT world, rather than clicking here, we'll just enable it by default. All right. Here it is. So we don't need this anymore. It's just going to be enabled. Then here we could drop a movie folder here. Yeah, I guess we'll just leave that here. And let's just try it out. See if this works in here. So I have a folder on my desktop and it has 216 video clips, such as this or that, or again this or this. Okay, so it's a whole bunch of different little clips from Screenplay by Christian Markley. So I'm going to grab this or drop this whole folder into my device over here, and indeed it populates the entire menu with all my clips. Okay, there we have clip number 1. I mean clip number 6. Yep. And actually this window here, I want it to float. I don't want it to be hidden by other windows. So we just type in floating 1. Okay. And as you maybe saw, it's enough to just type @FLO and then it'll suggest floating. So you just arrow down, space bar, and 1. Okay. So now this is always in the front. So it doesn't need to be this big. And I can continue editing here without the window disappearing all the time. So this is already a good start. So how do we change this rather than clicking here? We want to change this with the number. I mean, eventually we want to change it with MIDI, but for now we just want to change it with the number. So what if I do this? 12, 55. Okay, this totally works. So I can already play it with the arrow keys here on my keyboard. And I already have a basic sampler device. Now next step is to connect this to MIDI. So the MIDI in just gives us raw MIDI data. So there's two ways to go about this now. We can either replace the MIDI in with a note in object. This will only give us note information, so when you push a key on the keyboard. Let's do that. So I remove the MIDI in, we use the note in, And now, as you probably know, hopefully know, a MIDI note, when you push a keyboard on a key on your keyboard, you will get two messages, at least two messages. You will get a first message, which is the note on when you press the key down, and you'll get another message with the same note number, but velocity 0 when you let go, so that's the note off. So every time you press a key, you'll get two messages. But for our video sampler, maybe we only want the note on for now. So there's a handy little object here called strip note, and it will take all the incoming note messages, but it will just remove all the note off messages. Okay, so I'm going to connect this here, and I'm going to remove these segmented patch cords because I don't like them, and clean this up a little bit. Plug out. For now we don't send any audio out here, so that's fine. And now this isn't going to fit up here, but that's okay. We'll put it into presentation mode in a little bit, but for now we just want to try it out, quick and dirty. Okay, it's here. Let's save it, and we call it video sampler effects test. You can call it whatever you want. Make sure you put it somewhere where Max can see it. I have my Max for Live folder where I have everything. Whenever I do a device for Max for Live, I put it in here. So there's a lot of them. I would suggest you do the same, just so you can keep track of them. So I'm going to save it in here. And I'm back in my Ableton session. Actually, I'm going to remove the unused tracks over here. And let's see if this works. So I'm going to turn on the keyboard thing up here. And when I play a key on my keyboard, I see something's coming in here. I see the numbers are changing here. Oh, but I guess we didn't load the folder. So let's see, we just got to drag this in here. Yes. Oh, here we go, of course. So, as you saw, we need to load the folder every time we load the device. So maybe we want to automate that too. So let's do that next. So we go back in here, and let's see what message comes out of this. So for that, I take the outlet and I drag it in the right inlet of this message box, yeah? And now when I drag in my folder from the desktop, I see it outputs this. So that's the path. So I can just copy this, and rather than dragging this in every time I add a new folder, we can just connect this here and add a load bang. Here we go. And that should do it. Here we go. No need to load the folder anymore. It's already preloaded. I mean, it's also hard-coded in here. And we already have a basic little sampler. All right, now that we have our basic sampler, let's clean this up a little bit. First of all, let's start putting stuff into presentation mode. So maybe we want to see this menu. So I'm going to add this to presentation. And that's all for now. So I'm just going to go into the patcher settings here, and we're going to say open in presentation. I'm going to place this here. Okay. Now with our keyboard, we won't have as many clips here we don't have as many keys as we have clips. So we want to add a little offset. Okay, so I mean the MIDI numbers here will be between 1 and 127 at the max, but we have over 200 video clips. So what we do is we add another number to it. So I drag this plus here into it with shift, and here when I have a number, I can add this number over here. Now to make this a little cleaner, we'll actually use the pack object. Here we go. We use this, and we just make the addition of these two numbers. Now when I change this, this number here gets updated right away. Okay, and so we can control this offset with the MIDI controller. We use one of the live objects, live dial, and I don't know, we have this between 127, I guess, and we call it offset. And we add it to presentation mode. Command Shift P, or right click, add to presentation. Now I go into presentation mode, Command Option E, and we place it somewhere over here. Good. Now let's have some fun here. Let's add some effects. Well, the first effect I want to add here is called rate. Rate will allow me to change the speed at which a video clip is being played back. So that's a built-in function of GTL Polymovie. If you go into the help file, I guess you can find it somewhere here, rate. Okay, so with the rate message, I can change the speed. So we just add rate $1, connect this here, and now we add a little live dial for the rate, and we'll give it the name rate, and the range, well, so 0 is freeze, 1 is normal speed, 2 is twice the speed, and with negative values you can play backwards. So let's go from -2, so backwards at double speed, to +2, forward at double speed. Okay, so at 0 there's nothing, and oh, so here we have integer values, so we just want to switch this to float. Cool. So we add this to presentation, Command Shift P. We switch over to presentation, Command Option E, and we place the rate over here. Cool. What else do we need? I think we're pretty good for now. We'll just add some more effects. Well, let's see if this works already. So we save. We're back in here. And okay. So let's see if offset works. Yep. So when I change this, we just go through all the clips. And now when I play different notes on my keyboard, so let's say I play C and E, I have these two clips. Now when I move the offset over here, I play C and E, I have these two clips, okay? So C and E are a different offset. Yeah, I like this. And what about rate? Yeah, that slows it down. Now it plays it backwards and forward. Cool. Now let's add some effects to our sampler. So I go back into my patch. And the easiest thing to add an effect right now would be to add one of the Visi effects, which we've already seen in other tutorials. So for that, I go into the modules section over here, Visi, and let's see, let's take Solarizer, why not? So I can just drag this in with the Shift key. It'll put it right into the chain here, effects change. And let's see what parameter we want to change. RGB, saturation. Tint mode, well, let's try with this one. We're gonna add a live dial, and we're gonna call it red. It's gonna be between 0 and 1. As a float, we add it to presentation. Oh, make sure it's connected. Move it up here into the interface, and let's see what this is going to look like. Okay. Cool. Again, I just added red, green, and blue, and a luminance value. So when I change this over here, add some green, some blue, and luminance will tint the entire image, okay? And let's see what this looks like once we move this up here. Just cleaning up a little bit. And let's save it. Go back into our session. And now let's automate this. So I go into MIDI mapping, and we're gonna automate this with my MIDI controller over here. Okay, overall luminescence. And now I can just move my knobs over here. Yeah. To change the colors. That's cute. And I can play the keyboard. That's good. And now what we're going to do is we're going to record all this. So first we'll record a little clip of me playing the MIDI, and that's more fun with some sound. So let's find a little audio track over here. I can actually drag this. Oh, no, not in here. In here. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. So we're going to record the MIDI on this. Okay, that's good enough for now. Now we're gonna loop this little section here. Yep, that's what I just recorded. And if I move these guys over here, yeah, this guy is gonna change the color. So I'm gonna record the automation here. Let's see. This should be an overdub. Okay, that was rather messy. And let's see if it worked. Yep. So we got our automation here. That's the automation for green, automation for blue, and for red. And so when I go back and I play it, we got it. Can still change the offset. To have different clips. Or the rate. Double speed. All right, thanks for watching.